to be back. Oh, there we go. It is great to be back in Pennsylvania. It's great to be back in Lancaster County. You know, we've been at this thing for a pretty long time. I've been running for 19 months. That's a long time. That means that there are babies that have been born and are now walking and talking since I started this campaign. And so because I've traveled now to 49 of the 50 states, I have to say the one that I didn't travel to is Alaska, which makes me realize maybe I need to go up there. Having traveled through 49 of the 50 states, people ask me, you know, what's your impression of America? What have you learned about running for president? And I say, well, number one, this is a big country. And it is a beautiful country. We are so lucky to have this magnificent piece of real estate that we call the United States of America. And it's been confirmed that the American people are decent and generous and hardworking, and they are willing to sacrifice for future generations. And we share a set of values. Common values, whether we're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, young, old, rich, poor, gay, straight. We've got a set of values that we share about family and neighborhood and community and nation, love of country, a belief that we rise and fall together as one nation. That's part of what binds us together as a people. But you know what I've also learned is that the American people are anxious right now. They're having a tough time. You know because you live it. People are working harder and harder just to get by. You know, you've got people with 2 or 3 jobs that still aren't making ends meet. Wages and incomes have flatlined during the George Bush years. In fact, they've done worse than that. The average family income has gone down $2,000 since George Bush took office. When Bill Clinton was in office, they went up $7,500. Jobs keep on getting shipped overseas. People are finding themselves, if not laid off, then their hours are being cut back. Businesses are struggling. We've got more home foreclosures than at any time since the Great Depression. And if you're still in your home, you've seen your home values plummet. Young people all across America have the grades and the will and the drive to go to college, but can't afford it. They just don't have the money. It's harder to save. It's harder to retire. People have lost their pensions. Meanwhile, the cost of everything from gasoline to food to health care have all skyrocketed. So at the end of the month, people look and they don't have the money to make ends meet. The gap between what's coming in and going out just doesn't match up. You know this in your own lives. So we are in a defining moment in our history. Not only is this nation in war, but our economy is in a shambles. And the dream that drove so many Americans and that so many generations fought for feels like it's slowly slipping away. And that is why this election is so important, because one thing I know, we cannot afford to keep doing the same things we've been doing for the last 8 years and somehow expect a different result. We can't afford it, future generations can't afford it, and that's why I'm running for President of the United States. Now, you would think, given the urgency of what we face, given the struggles that middle-class families all across America are going through, you would think that that would be the focus of every elected official and certainly both political parties. But if you caught any of the performances in St. Paul last night, they seemed to have a lot of fun with themselves. They were enjoying themselves. They spent a lot of time talking about John McCain and his biography, and it is a compelling biography. And he served our country with bravery and honor during Vietnam. They spent a lot of time talking about me, and weren't quite as accurate in their portrayals of me, but that's to be expected. You know, some reporters asked me, well, what do you think about being attacked so savagely? And I said, you know, what else do you expect them to do? This is what they do every 4 years. And anyway, I've been called worse on the basketball court. They talked about John McCain, they talked about me a lot. You know what they didn't talk about? They didn't talk about you.
Yes.
They didn't talk about your hopes. They didn't talk about your dreams. They didn't talk about your struggles. They have gone so far through 2 nights in which they have not talked about a single idea that would actually make your lives a little bit better. And if you think I'm exaggerating, ask yourself, what are they going to do to make college more affordable? Do you have any idea? No. What are they intending to do to create good jobs and good wages here in the United States? Do you have any idea? No. Well, what's their plan for health care? And the fact that you've got 47 million people without health insurance, and if you've got health insurance, you're seeing your co-payments and deductibles and premiums going up, and businesses are suffering because they're trying to keep up with rising costs of health care. Was there a single sentence that would have described how they are going to fix this basic problem in our economy and basic problem for ordinary families all across America? You did not hear a thing.
Fishing in Alaska.
Not one thing. And so the question that we've got to ask ourselves is, what America are they living in? What are they seeing? Because I don't think that John McCain is a bad man.
My company has 20.
I just don't think he gets it.
My company has 20.
And I don't think the Republican Party gets it. Because if they got it, then they couldn't propose to continue the same George Bush economic policies that have gotten us in this mess in the first place. They couldn't propose, as John McCain has proposed, $200 billion in tax breaks for wealthy corporations, including $4 billion for ExxonMobil, that just went through 3 consecutive quarters of making more money than any corporation in the history of the United States, windfall profits on oil, and yet leave 100 million working families, 100 million people out of any tax relief whatsoever. I mean, if he knew what was going on, surely that would not be what he proposed. If he understood what was going on, I'm assuming that he would not have put forward a health care plan that actually taxes the health care benefits that employers provide to their employees, and which will result potentially in more and more employers getting rid of health care because they can't afford to provide it. And he'll give you a $5,000 tuition credit. The only problem is health care is going to cost you $12,000 or $14,000. And if you've got a pre-existing condition, or you're 55 and you don't yet qualify for Medicare, but you've already got some ailments, good luck trying to get some insurance on the private marketplace. He doesn't get it. If he got it, surely he would have some plan to make education work, because he would understand that we are in a fierce competition with China and India, and that if we don't make sure that we are providing a world-class education, we will not be able to compete.